to our office for this interview.
It was great. I mean, it was fantastic to see so many people out, and of course there's the tinges of tragedy around the event because of loss of life, but you know, the positive side of it was that all the people turned up, and really it was a great day and a lot of money was raised, so you know, there was a kind of a healing process kicked in, I think, that day for Newcastle in some small way, and you know, I feel good that we were part of that with Split Enz. Split Enz is like an old car. It just starts first time. You know, you've left it in the garage for a few years and you just put the key in and turn it and it's away, you know, purring.
I guess now it's safe to openly discuss the planned project with you and Neil.
Oh yeah, well, we've been blabbing about it for quite a while, but we've written all the songs. That was the reason we started talking it up, because we got so excited. We had an unprecedented burst of writing. For both of us, we've never really experienced anything like it. 3 weeks, we wrote about 15 songs.
What sort of songs are they?
Oh, acoustic sort of driven music, I suppose, although there'll be drums and there'll be textures in the sound, but the acoustic guitars will really propel it along, I think, and a lot of harmonies, obviously. And there's a lot of humour in the lyrics. We've been writing, you know, together we tend to spur each other into new areas of humour and irony and, you know, satire almost, you know, which I think is a good way to go for us, you know.
In the early days of Split Enz, there were Beatles comparisons, and Crowded House have often been compared to the Beatles. These days, a lot of acts, such as Lenny Kravitz, are being compared to Crowded House. I mean, it all seems to go round and round, doesn't it?
I think we're entering into a quirky period for pop music, and quirky is a silly word, I suppose, but just an area where, you know, pop music will again be full of, hopefully anyway, melodies and odd arrangements, funny time signatures, you know, it won't be so dominated by dance rhythms. So I think we're entering a period of that, and obviously comparisons with Beatles are going to be rife, you know, with lots of acts. Lenny Kravitz, you mentioned, Michael Penn, who's just got something out. There's one or two other people who are coming through that are, you know, have overtones of... I mean, really all it means when people say it sounds Beatlish is it usually just means it sounds melodic. You know, good melodies are still really hard to find, and Neil can certainly write them, and, you know, with Split Enz I think we had good tunes. But they're really not that common. They're really very uncommon.
The stories we get from the States is that Not Even Close is picking up substantial airplay. It's one of the most added tracks to radio right across America. It must be quite gratifying.
This was always the key track for the album for me. I always thought it was the best song on the album, the best produced sound, and I wanted it to be the first single, but, you know, there was a difference of opinion. I mean, I wouldn't have written this song 5 years ago. I would have tried to find a less bleak way of describing my feelings, because there is a darkness in the lyric, although in the middle part of the song it's quite optimistic, I think, when I sing about weave me a rope. But nevertheless, it's a sad song, and we all have moments when we get down, and some people would say, well, you shouldn't indulge in it, you should just pretend everything's all right, be a Boy Scout, you know, the world's fine. But I think if you really do allow yourself occasionally to face what's really troubling you and really experience it directly, you can actually move on, you'll grow. If you don't do that, you'll never grow, I think. So, you know, I was feeling pretty down. I wrote this song and I thought, well, why not? It's, you know, the name even, I mean, it's not even close. It's admitting, you know, quite a lot.